And Corine. We are excited to be here with you guys today. What's up, babe?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good.
Me too. Excited.
I'm a little hungry. I feel like you should take me to breakfast today.
Breakfast? We're trying to break fast this early in the morning. Yes, we could. I mean, if you have time, honey, I'd love to take you to breakfast. Okay. You got time?
I don't.
You don't. See what I'm saying? this is how it happens, fellas, right? You're like, I'd love to. You're like, where do you want to go? They're like, I don't know. You're like, you don't know? What do you mean you don't know? Let me go ahead and share this broadcast. We were all set up to share, and then I forgot to do it. Let me make sure we share this broadcast. We asked that you guys would share this broadcast today. We appreciate it. Good morning, everybody who's jumping in.
Yes, good morning.
We're excited to be here with you guys today. My wife just asked me if she said she's a little hungry and she wanted me to take her to breakfast. I agreed. Everybody heard me on here, agreed. And then I said, do you have time? And she said, no. That ain't right. That ain't right. What Nisha say? Don't do that. Don't do that. That ain't right. Shout out to Nisha. Shout out to our In God's Image family. Shout out to all of our family and friends out there watching, all of the supporters, everybody out there who, if you're just leaning in and looking for love, if you're leaning in and you said, I just need a vision of a healthy relationship, of a couple that's doing it, and I need somebody to show me that it's possible, we welcome you to the show. And we invite you to come back each week at 8 a.m. Friday mornings, 5 a.m. Pacific, which is amazing. We say that because we do have West Coast family and friends who tune in, and we thank them so much for being up early and tuning in to the show.
Yes.
And to everybody out there, we appreciate you guys. Make sure I shared that. We did that right. Everything is rolling. All right. Welcome.
I think I shared.
You think you shared too?
Yep.
I think so. Sometimes I think I did, and then I find out, like, wait a minute, I didn't share anything, and then it's like, what happened? That's not what I meant to do. So what's going on, babe? What we talking about today?
Today we're talking about creating the love you want.
Creating.
Yes, creating it. Like, if you want something, you're able to create it. So we're going to talk about what that looks like and what that means.
Awesome. What does it look like? What does it mean to create love, create a healthy relationship? It's interesting because I think a lot of people, just to start the conversation, talk a lot about falling in love.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like,
every time I hear that, I think about somebody like tripping.
That's what me too.
And falling.
So do I. I'm like, man, they fell in love.
Like, oops, I'm in love now.
And like, I don't know what. And then people say that I don't even know when it happened. I fell in love, and we've no disrespect to those who have fallen in love, but we hope that you out there, somebody out there, would choose love today. That they would choose to bond with someone. That they would count the cost of what it takes personally and collectively to have a healthy relationship. Sometimes what happens is we do fall into it, and we understand what that means. We know what it means. We've been there, right? We understand what that means. But that early stage of falling into something doesn't often last. Like, people done fell into some jobs. People done fell into some other stuff too.
Fell into all kind of stuff.
That wasn't right? That's not creating. That sounds more accidental.
Yeah.
And I believe God is more intentional, and He wants us to be intentional. He's intentional.
Intentional.
That was a song, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Travis Green. He's intentional. Good morning, Dharma. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Happily married for many years. Shout out to Dharma, Timmy Jack. So creating. Let's talk about it. First of all, what does it mean to create? What do you think of? You're a creative person.
Yeah.
I always say I'm a creative person, but I always say you're the most creative person I ever met. Like, I literally think that. Yeah, absolutely.
That's nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So you're a creator. Talk about creation for me. Talk about, maybe if you don't mind sharing, you've created a lot of things. You've created businesses, you've created fashion, you've created books, you've created. Share with the people a little bit about creating for you. What's the creative process like?
A creative process. Okay, so the show is called The Love Within.
Yes.
I think creation comes from within. Like, it always starts with some kind of vision that I see. Like, I have this vision, and it's also like, I don't know if I want to describe it as a feeling, but like some strong inkling, like.
Sounds like a feeling.
Yeah. Inkling.
They're like, what is that, a feeling? All right, got it. I think you're saying it's deeper than just an emotional feeling. It's like a soul, spirit.
It's like you see something and you know you're supposed to have it, or you know you're supposed to do it.
Yep.
So it's like you see it. Good morning, Nishka. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have that vision, you have that feeling, that inkling, And it's like, okay, I want to pursue this. I want to see this through. So whether it's a book or it's, I make clothes before.
You did.
Yeah, it's like I had this vision. I saw it like in my head, and now I want to see what it looks like.
That's one of my favorite stories.
Outside of my head.
That's one of my favorites. If you guys don't know, you mind me telling about your fashion journey a little
yes.
bit? All right. I should pull up the fashion show pictures. We're going to show those one day. Listen. Yeah, I will. So my wife, being the creator that she is, so she's worked a few jobs while we were together.
Yep.
School, bank. You worked at a bank.
Right.
And then one day, it was around Valentine's Day. You remember the day when I was like, babe, you out of there?
Yeah, I do remember.
That was fun.
Like one of the best days of my life.
Best days of your life. We were at a Valentine's Day dinner, lunch, something, remember?
It was like, yeah. It was like some kind of event, like a dinner.
Yeah, like a couple's event.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how I did. Anyway, I was telling her like, you don't have to work anymore, because part of it was she was a great worker. She was just so creative, and sometimes, that's challenging when you're a super creator.
Yeah.
So, and
sometimes you're at a job and you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You like punching in. I was working at the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Putting in deposits and withdrawals. I was like, I am not supposed to be here.
Right.
Every time a customer came up, hello, how may I assist you? And in the back of my head, I'd be like, I am not supposed to be
What
here.
am I doing here? Why am I here? So,
good morning, Unique. Good morning, Ashanti and Noella.
Hello. Good morning. Glad to have you guys here today. Please share this broadcast as you guys come in. Tell somebody, wake somebody up, tell them to jump on. And not miss it. If you're watching by replay, we want to thank our replay viewers. We do appreciate you, and we appreciate those who take the time to watch it all the way through. Turn it on while you're at work, turn it on while you're in the car, and those that even replay the replay and watch it again and say, I want to get something out of this, because I don't just want to see something. I want to learn something. I want to take something from this that I can apply to my life. That's our hope, that you guys can be inspired to do something great. Shout out to our guy, Jordan. Shout out to our guy. Appreciate all the love and support, Jordan.
Right. I love Jordan, because Jordan is always laughing. He finds a lot
joy
of stuff.
in
Yeah,
everything.
funny.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
So do we.
Yeah.
So do we. That's how our house rolls. So he'd fit right in. All right. So we went through that, and then, but you were so creative. You were like, it was like you needed more space, more time to create. So she started a fashion business. Now, how this started? Anybody know? Let us know if you knew that my wife started a fashion business. If this is news to you, let us know. No. Your first business was Tiny Chuckles.
Don't talk
about Tiny Chuckles. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about Tiny Chuckles. She was doing something for the moms, and it was cool. It was a
cute idea.
It was a cute idea.
Yeah.
Tiny Chuckles. All right, I'm trying to tell a story of a creator. She's a creator, so this is why I live with such a creative person. And she created a website, built a website, was doing a blog. I was like, I don't even know what you're doing. It was really cool. And then eventually she went into fashion. She wanted a sewing machine for Christmas one year. She asked me for a sewing machine. I got her the basic $99 thing from Walmart. Cause I'm like, a lot of times people ask for stuff, but do they really want it? Like, are they really going to use it? Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Christina. Are they really going to use the thing? So I bought her the basic one, right? Like, this will probably be in the basement in a couple months. No disrespect to her, but I bought stuff and I thought I was gonna do something with it, and I never did it. So she started learning how to sew. She didn't even know how to sew.
Nope.
Got on YouTube and started watching videos.
Yep. YouTube videos.
Started teaching herself how to sew.
First thing I made was like a basic t-shirt, which is super simple to make.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
Right. Shout out to Jay. She said, I remember the convo with Anthony. Had wave goodbye to my little job, right? He just talked about that. Wave goodbye to your little job, to your little friend. Say goodbye. So, you started sewing, and I remember you made something one day that was a little off. I just remember a couple items that
He loved telling this story.
It's so funny because it's the creative process. We're talking about creating a relationship you want, and we need to show you that everything. Like, when you're first learning to be a creator, you may have to go through it. We all have a process to go through. And sometimes we don't really know what we're doing, right? And that's what this show is, to help you guys learn early, right? This is your YouTube of watching videos to learn how to make something great as far as a relationship. So she made some pants. I always talk about those Kardashian pants you made. It had like, the butt in these pants was so big. I was like, I've never seen a pants with pre-built in butt. It like looked like somebody was wearing the things already. And I was like, those are not. She was like, what do you think? I was like,
they were slightly imperfect.
They could have been in games. Slightly imperfect. I used to get the game. Anybody shop at games, man.
Right.
Back in the day, I used to have everything slightly imperfect.
Slightly imperfect clothes at games.
Yeah, slightly imperfect. So she was making, it was a little, and then you made a shirt one time, the sleeves was a little off. But one day I came home and you had on that dress. We were going out on a date night.
Right.
And she had on this beautiful dress. I wish I could post a picture right now. I might mess around and find it. She had this beautiful dress on, and I just couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, where did you get it from? And she was like, I made it. And I was like, made it?
Yeah.
I was like, I thought she made it to the store. I didn't know she made it.
And it was simple too, but it was the first time one of my creations had actually turned out looking normal.
That's a message for somebody. First time your relation turned out looking normal. You're like, this is a good thing. I done found a good thing.
Right, it's simple.
So she started creating clothes. People started wanting them. People started seeing what she was wearing. And butt pad pants. Right. I don't know what it was. It was just built for tough. I don't know. What's up? Shout out to my man Jason Blinkins. What's up, my man?
Good morning, Jason.
That's my guy. Welcome to the show. Glad you're here. So she made it, right? That's because she made it. I was like, wow. And then she went on to make more clothes. People started buying it, requesting stuff. She made prom dresses and all kinds of cool stuff for people. And it was a fun journey. You had 2 fashion shows that were amazing.
Yeah, those are fun. When I think back on those, I'm like, how was I doing that? You know, like you're like so into what you're doing, like you don't even realize, like
you're creating.
Yeah, and they were successful too. I didn't like.
It was hundreds of people at those fashion shows.
Yeah, I think the first one, the goal was to get like 200 people there.
Yeah.
Because that's how much the venue would hold.
Yeah.
And like we were like maybe like at 170 or something like that, and I was like, this is so cool. Like,
you had an 80-foot runway.
Yeah.
80-foot runway.
I was like, people actually showed up to see my designs, and they were just okay.
It was great. She had models. She had people doing makeup. Right. It was so much fun. People supported.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. But we're talking about the creative process today. As we think about creating the type of relationship you want, the first thing is you gotta be still long enough to know you are a creator. And I challenge everybody out there we've been taught that there are creative people and not so creative people. Right. But what we're failing to realize is we were created as creators. So if I'm created in the image and likeness of God, and He's a creator as we see, then I'm a creator too. It's in me. You know, like they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You just like your dad. You just like your mom. People will say that about earthly things, but they won't say it about heavenly things. You need to look at people and be like, you just like your dad. You just like your mom. You just like heaven. You have heavenly abilities that have been laying dormant because somebody told you weren't creative, or because you didn't color between the lines that well when you were a kid. That's not creativity anyway. Right. So people think they're not artistic or not creative in some way because they weren't good at some finite thing. Jordan about to make some music for us. I see he said he about to freestyle over the beat. So people are creative in many ways, but we are creators. So shout out to everybody out there who's looking to create love. You know you can. And it's tricky because I think a lot of times people think it's just about finding it.
Yeah.
They think it's all finding someone who has their stuff together.
Nope.
Right? It's not. It's about creating. All right, babe. Yep. You go. You take it from here. What are we going to do?
So last week we had a question that we want to answer.
Oh, yeah. From an audience member.
Yeah. Yeah. A question in the chat. And we want to let you guys know that if you ever want us to answer some questions on the show,
we'd love to.
We'd love to. Inbox us your question.
Like, put it in the chat.
Yeah, you can put it in the chat. You can inbox us.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If you don't want everybody to know it's your question.
I like that. They might be like, I got this problem. Yeah. They don't want to put it all on the screen with their face. Yeah. Right? Okay, I got you. So you can always inbox us before, during, or after the show. And we can get to your questions if they're more private, and we won't call you out. But if you would like to ask questions live in the chat, we'd appreciate that as well. That's a lot of fun. We appreciate it. All right. So our question was from last week.
It says, okay, so last week we were talking about becoming the ideal mate.
Yes.
And we were talking about you becoming, like, if you want a relationship, you need to become first. Like, don't expect to get into a relationship if pretty much you don't have all of you together. If you're still growing, and we're still growing all the time, but you can't be at the far end of the spectrum. Like, I want somebody who's at the other far end of the spectrum. Like
in
you
the
have,
game. You have to start.
Yeah, you have to start. You have to get going on yourself. You have to be working on yourself so that when you do connect with the person, you connect in a way that it's going to be beneficial for both you and the other person, and that the relationship is going to mutually be beneficial to each other.
Right.
Yes.
Jordan out here like, where my wife at? Where my wife at?
Where she at, Jordan?
Where she at? Oh, it's lots of lovely ladies out there. You gotta find the one. So her question was again.
Was, what if you want something more but have no idea what you want or should be doing?
Okay, let's say that one more time. All right, let me see. We said what? What if you want something more
but have no idea about what you want or you should be doing? And I thought that was like an amazing question.
Yes.
Because you want something, but you don't know what you want. And
you don't know what you should be doing to get what you want.
Yeah.
That's a real humble question. Because a lot of people just be like, I deserve. They be singing tank songs backwards. Like they deserve something good.
Maybe I deserve.
That was he was doing wrong, right? He was saying, "Baby, I deserve to be mistreated because I mistreated you." Right. But somebody is thinking, "I deserve something good." He was reaping what he sowed. But some people are waiting for something, just thinking they're just waiting. So she wants to know, she wants something more, but she doesn't know what to do. So what do you think?
So this is when creating comes into place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, like we were talking about last week, like if you don't know what you want, that is a good indication that you should just be working on yourself and figuring out what you do want. Like we can't go about life not knowing what we want.
Right.
You know, it's like I remember you and Dr. Anthony Rodman.
Dr. Anthony Rodman, our guy, we love him.
On the final answer, one time you guys were talking about intentions, and I thought it was so good. Yeah. He was talking about like the person who has the strongest intentions is the person who gets what they want.
I love that.
And he gave the example of like you have a couple, and it's like, what do you want for dinner?
Yep.
And the other person is like, well, I want Mexican. And you like, well, I don't really like Mexican, but you ain't had no intentions
for nothing. Well, what do you want? You like, I don't know.
So you be like, well, just go get something and bring it back. And then they come back with Mexican, and that's what you have for dinner.
Right.
Even though you don't like it, but you didn't have any intentions, so you got what the other person wanted.
Yep. Intentions are so important. One of my favorite things, again, if you guys have never watched Success Epitomized Presents the Final Answer podcast, or if you haven't subscribed to that on wherever you listen to podcasts, please do so. Myself and Dr. Anthony Rodman weekly go through. And we had a fabulous guest this week, Miss J. Rodman, who's here watching today. Dropped so much power to all the mothers, all the women, all the people out there to know how to run your business, how to run your family like a business. I always say it backwards. Yeah. How to run your family like a business. Phenomenal stuff. Check us out.
Great stuff.
And make sure you guys are subscribed to In God's Image. Right now is where we're live, as well as Success Epitomized, which is a team we're on, a family we're a part of, and there's great opportunities there. So check that out as well. So, so I was saying that becoming. Where were we at?
I don't know what you
don't know what I was saying.
No, I don't.
I got caught up trying to shout out my people. Yeah. And then I forgot. Okay, yeah. So if you don't know.
Oh, we were talking about intentions.
There we go. Somebody's got to remember. All right. Appreciate you. What's up, Ashley? Oh, this is one of my favorite people. What's up, Miss Ashley Jenkins? She said, when I met my husband, I didn't know what I wanted at all in a relationship, but God knew I needed him in my life. Ashley, I will never forget. Me and Ashley worked together, right? You were in the trans room. You worked in trans, right? Transitional room, infant to transitioning to toddler room, right? For those who don't know what trans is. Like, what is the trans room? It's transitional from infant to toddler, right? They're transitioning in age, all right? So anyway, Ashley went on a date with this great guy, Charles, who is a cousin of a great friend of both of ours, Jonay. And I remember they were starting to talk or something. And I just remember her having just the best time. And I never heard her speak. And I always talk to everybody about relationships, right? Actually, like, I was since I was 12, I was like that. But I was working, running a business. And I'd be like, how y'all doing? Talking to everybody about their life, sitting down, having serious meetings with people, helping them with their life, you know?
Right.
And Ashley was like, she was like, I don't know. Ashley is my favorite, and I know she don't mind me saying this, Sour Patch Kid. And I know her husband says this too. Ashley is the sweetest person ever. And she can be sour just to be sour. It is so funny. And I think she does it just to make people laugh. Or I don't know if that's just how she is, but she's hilarious. And she was like, I don't know about him. I don't know. I was like, Ashley, Like, this guy's been the greatest person you've ever met. What are you talking about? Like, come on, give him another day, give him another chance. I don't know what he said. I just don't know. I was like, Ashley, come on. But she didn't know, right? She said when she met her husband, she didn't know, but God knew what she needed. And they're such a wonderful couple. There's such a wonderful balance. They have so much love for each other. And I love their love for each other. So shout out to Ashley and Charles.
And look at them flexing in the profile picture.
Ooh, looking good. Look at them. I forgot. They both in the picture right there.
They look like they on a date.
They both models. They both look like models. You know, Ashley and Charles. Shout out to them. But God knew, right? God knew what she needed and had a plan for them, right?
Right.
So intentions matter, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know what you want, first of all, again, we have to be still. Turn off the TV, turn off the phone, turn off stuff. You're allowing the noise to shape what you think you want. So you're watching movies, you're reading love stories, you're listening to love songs, because you're hoping that those things will lead you to what you want. When God is like, I want to give you what I have for you. I don't want you to just, this is not a just get what I want thing. This is a get what is for me thing. I want what's for me, right? I don't just want what I want because we've gotten what we wanted before and it didn't work. How many of you got with the person who was like, man, I've been wanting them?
Yeah, I think that's so good, to get what God has for you. Because some people be out there wanting other people's spouses.
Right.
And that's just not going to work.
Right. Shout out to our girl, Angela.
Hey, Angela.
Thanks for being here this morning. Hope the baby didn't get you up already and you had to deal with the baby and everything else. First hour this week. Right. So, yeah. Right.
So sometimes we're asking for things that are not for us.
Ain't good for us.
We know it's not for us, but somehow, some way, you still want it, but it's going to lead you down a road of something that's not so good for you.
Right. Absolutely.
So bring it back. Think about what you want and what God has for you. Yes.
Bring it back. Right.
Jordan said facts.
Beyonce is taken, right? If you want the one Beyonce, she's taken.
I'm sure there's somebody else out there named Beyonce.
Yeah. Or Beyonce. Really what you just want is a fiance. So we just want the one that God has for you, my brother. Beyonce, not Beyonce. So we got to think about that, though. Intentions. I love that. To create what you want, you have to have intentions. To create a good meal, you need the recipe, right? Or you need to have made it before. And I always tell people, you haven't had a success. The only way to have a successful relationship, or the only people who can say they have a successful relationship, are the people who are currently married and in the successful relationship. So I always say before, although I was helping people with relationships, I was like, well, I never had one before now. So I can't tell you as though I always did it right, because I didn't. I never had one before. You can't have a successful relationship until you're in the one that you're going to be in forever. So you have to but God knows, he can really help you sit still and process and think about. And I'm not talking about one time. Somebody heard me say that and they're like, all right, as soon as this is over, I'm turning off the TV and I'm going to sit here in the dark and I'm going to just listen for the Lord. And then God is going to be like, you just going to come to me one time, try to cash out, go play the slot machine, hope I tell you something and go find it. No, God is like, be still continuously. Spend time with me. Get intimate with me. Spend time. Let us build something. And when we build what we need to build, then you'll see clearly to see what I have for you. So many people are looking for the wrong stuff, right?
Right.
People looking for the wrong thing. All right. Angela said, what kind of coffee y'all drinking this morning? It's the coffee of love. We just hype talking about love and whatnot. That's all it is, all right? We just hype about that. It's called sleep deprivation for me, right? Jordan, what time is it? Where you at, Jordan? What time is it, my man? What time is it? All right.
Right.
So what else? So I hope we answered the question. Have no idea what you want or should be doing. All right. And this show is going to continue to tell people what they should be doing. All right. We're going to continue to let you guys know what you should be doing in order to do that. And we're also going to have a group coming out really soon where you guys can subscribe to be a part of our monthly group where we're going to do monthly training. Corine and I together are going to do monthly we're going to go deeper. This show is an opportunity for us to open up conversations and open up some awareness and some discussion and some thought. The training, we're going to go in.
Yeah.
We're going to go in and tell them
Sorry, my head was down.
The truth.
Somebody.
No problem. Somebody was spamming us a little bit. We got that under control. It's all good. Somebody wanted us to join the group or something, but we're going to go ahead and we don't spam on the show. That ain't right. All right. Best West, our girl Ashanti asked a question. She said, what was your journey to finding self-love? Shanti, good question.
Yes.
You want to go? You go.
Me go?
Or you want me go? Me goes. Me go.
Well, my journey was long, so I don't want to give you my journey because it wasn't perfect.
Nobody's was. What are you talking about?
I know. I just want to give people. Yeah, I just want to give people the perfect model of find their journey to finding self-love. Okay. Now that we know it. You know? We want people out here stumbling, tripping
because we tripped. Hey,
yeah.
Let me finish that point. That's a great point.
Go ahead.
Her point is, we do share openly, and you guys are going to hear our story and have heard our story. Mm-hmm. However, don't get stuck in the story. If you get stuck in the story of our imperfections, you will think your imperfections are normal. That's not true. God did not create us with imperfections for imperfection. He didn't create us to have imperfect relationships. He didn't create us to stumble and fall. He created us with free will. So then he created us as creators. So we can create whatever we want. We can stumble and fall if we want. And part of the problem is we're so busy watching other people stumble and fall because every good movie is filled with a bunch of stumbling and falling, right? And every relationship, everybody who's happy can tell you how they stumbled and fell. So while it is encouraging to know that you are not alone and that everybody has had some level of struggle and, through their journey, right? Don't make it normal. Don't struggle just to struggle. Don't struggle just to say it's normal. Don't tell yourself, if you say you have to go through hard times to get to the good times, you have to go through the rain to get to the rainbows, you got to go through the hard. If you say that, that is true. Your words create. So you're creating detriment and problems in your life and in your relationship because you're speaking what you've seen in other people's relationships, what you've heard in songs, what you've seen in movies, and you think your thing is normal, but it's only normal because you've spoken it into your existence. You've given life. You spoke those things that were not as though they were, and now they are. So speak life. Be like, I ain't going through that. We be like, when from day one, we was like, we ain't getting no divorce. I don't care what happens. No divorce. We don't even say it. The fact that I just said that word. It was get it out of here.
It was
it's
like
gotta
one of
go.
the things we said we were never gonna say.
Yes.
Like you got people threaten that in their marriage. Like you hear other people say that I'm gonna get this.
Right.
Like you just put it on the table, just put it out there and created it.
Yep.
But back to creating. You mean your journey of self-love?
Self-love. Yes.
So we have recently joined an amazing conversation, family. I don't know what we're going to call it. Yeah, in God's image conversation.
In God's image conversation. But it's not just conversation, it's people though in there.
Yeah, it's people.
Not just talking. There's real people behind this glass.
Group, family. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, conversations. But in there, we learned about learning who you are. And I think that is the most perfect beginning of learning to love yourself is learning who you are. We're talking about, we're on In God's Image page right now. You are created in God's image.
Yes.
So what does that mean? What does that look like? What does that say about who you are?
Yes.
God is spirit.
Yep.
And if you're created in God's image, then you are spirit.
Yeah.
That's the greatest part of you.
Yep. And I don't think that's a foreign concept, right? We know we're spirits. Most people do, of most faiths, believe that when you're gone from the body, your spirit goes somewhere else, right? People believe that. So that's not a crazy concept. We know we're a spirit inside of these bodies, but we get real locked into the physical part.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So then, so just operating in that spiritual part of yourself. And one thing we learned to do in God's image is dream again. Dream of all possibilities. That's the first step of getting back in touch with your spirit. Dream of all possibilities. Yes. What is it that God has created you for, to do, and to be and become in life? Yes. So, yeah.
That's it. First thing first. And Brienne, shout out to Brienne. We answered her. It was her question from last week that we answered a little bit ago. Brienne, I hope you saw it. If you didn't, we can restate it, or you can watch the replay. But we appreciate your question and your engagement, Brienne. She said, love that. I've had enough struggles with love. This time around is going to be easy peasy. Claiming it, right?
Yes.
We are, because it's I wish I knew this earlier in my life, that my words were creating. I tell you guys, and I'm sure I've said this on this show and many shows, because the greatest example I can give was the artiste that I used to follow named Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur. Okay, that's what we're gonna call him for the sake of today's show. Let it roll off your tongue. Tupac Shakur. Okay, I used to listen to a lot of Tupac Shakur when I was a teen, right? And he was in an interview once, and he said, "I'm not creating. I don't create the drama in the streets." He said, all these politicians, all these people are mad at me. I don't create it. I'm like a news reporter. He's like, I'm just saying what's going on out here. Don't be mad at me. Change the situation. I'll change what I talk about, right? And he was a deep thinker, and I think he did have more to offer than what he was talking about. But the truth is, he was actually creating it as well. Because while at first he may have been reporting the news because he spoke it so much, and then he made it glorious. He glorified a thug life and all this stuff. So then he spoke it, created it. Other people, other creators, other people were all created in God's image, created as creators. They spoke it. And then now we have all these people chanting all this crazy stuff. I'm about that thug life. I'm about da-da-da-da. Creating it, creating it, creating it. So your words create. So if you say everybody has to struggle, you got to kiss a bunch of frogs to get a prince. I used to tell people that, like, you're not, I got to kiss them, but I'd be like, you may meet some frogs on your way to a prince, and you might, but you don't have to create that in your life. You don't have to keep saying and believing and thinking you're going to have to go through that, because there's some people out there kissing one too many people trying to find a prince. Like, are you the one? Like, no. Yeah. Okay. So that's what's up. What's up, my man, Tyler Thatcher? Welcome.
Good morning, Tyler.
Yes. Jordan felt that roll off the tongue. Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur. I said that in a corporate training I did the other day. I don't know what I just be saying, whatever is real. So we got to think about what we're creating. Yep. Right? We are going to have a good relationship. Yes, we are. We do have a good relationship.
Yes, we do.
I was a little challenging early on. Though.
Yeah.
No.
You said it. I didn't say anything.
The long pause hurt. She was like, yeah. No, but I was challenging because I had been so hurt. We both had. And I was just like, I was just looking for, like, I don't even want to say perfection. I don't even know if I knew what perfection was, but I was always wanting to work on a relationship, and I still do, and we still do, but I was doing it in a tireless way, like a way that's like a heavy load for somebody. Like always acting like things aren't good enough can be a lot. Now, while you want to improve, you have to learn a level of contentment and celebration and joy in the moment, because a lot of people are just infinitely unhappy, and people who are unhappy like that tend to be unhappy with themselves.
Yeah.
It's not always the other person. A lot of times it's your own unhappiness that you can't find the pinnacle of joy, and the pinnacle of joy is not found in another person.
Yeah, you can't be looking for your happiness in somebody else. It's not there. That's all I have to say about that.
Right.
It's not there.
It's not there. It's not, it doesn't.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't try to find your joy and peace and love and you're my everything. That's a heavy load to put on somebody. Right. Here's the load of everything.
No, I don't want it.
Be my everything.
I don't want it.
Like, reject it. Like, that's crazy. That's too much. God is like, I am everything. So let me be your everything, because I'm capable of sustaining everything. Somebody can be your everything for a few minutes, a day, an hour, in a moment. They can be your everything in a sense. Like, you were there for me during a tough time. You were everything to me. That's a dangerous statement, though, because you are everything. I hear a Mary J song coming on right now. You are everything, and everything is you, Lord. Yes, it's you. I don't know why that song is in my head. I don't know. I got Dr. Anthony Roman says, life and death are in the power of the tongue and directed by intentions. Y'all talking today. Think about what you're creating.
Yes.
Think about it. Be intentional. People don't accidentally make a meal.
Nope.
They're not stumbling in the kitchen like, oh, look, I fell into this delicious meal.
Right.
You got intentions.
Unless they had intentions to explore and figure some things out, do a little experiment in the kitchen. Right. But that was their intention.
Right. You gotta have some intention out here. So that's a big part of it. What else we got? And any more questions, please feel free to throw your questions in the chat or inbox us now or later. We'd love to answer your questions and jump into this. Nishka knows what I'm talking about, little Mary J. Little Mary J. You guys, we want to also invite you guys. Corine mentioned this before.
My sis Diane is on here. I want to say hi to Diane.
Oh, where's Diane?
Hey, Diane.
Oh, Diane. Hey.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Yes.
That's your sis.
Yeah.
I knew Diane. I be seeing her posting and doing stuff. She's positive.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She be singing too.
She be singing?
She got a single out. She just put out her first single. Congratulations to you, Diane. Yes.
Awesome. So, What were you saying?
Oh,
before I interrupted you?
We're gonna talk about creating the love.
We're gonna talk about creating the love you want. That's what the whole show is about.
Some questions that you should ask yourself.
Yes.
But when you're starting to create the love you want. So last week we were talking about questions you should answer for you to become the ideal mate. Don't just be thinking about, the other person. Don't just be thinking about what the other person should be doing for you.
Yes.
Think about who you should be becoming, who you should be for yourself, and to show up as your whole self, not a single half or
broken piece.
Yeah, broken piece that needs to be fit with something else.
Right.
But how do you show up as a whole?
Right.
Your whole self. Okay, so questions you should ask yourself when you are creating the love you want. Okay. Right. So say you know that you're ready to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And now it's time for you to connect with somebody. What should I be looking for? What do I want?
Yeah.
Well, you should ask yourself this question. What do I see for personal growth in our relationship? Who are our spiritual mentors? What kind of spiritual practices are we going to be doing in our relationship? And I think this is a great question, because a lot of times people get with somebody and they start bending like, oh, I said I was gonna, be working on my self growth. I put it on my list that I was gonna do some self growth, learning 3 times a week.
Right, studying.
Now I'm
getting
with this
closer
person,
to God, doing all this stuff. Yeah.
Now I'm with this person and my self growth is falling off. He don't really believe in spirituality and all that.
Right. He says he's spiritual, but he just don't want to learn nothing new.
You're right. He don't want to learn nothing. Right.
He's trying to get together with nobody and learn it, but he's spiritual.
Right.
Right.
Then you know that maybe you're going down the wrong path.
Yeah.
And we wanted to shout out some stuff about spiritual growth and things like that.
Absolutely.
Right?
We got some great opportunities coming up.
Yeah, go ahead, babe.
So we have something called the IGI Live Event, IGI Experience.
I'm excited about this one.
I know you are. You're getting a lot of people coming. I know you have great goals, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
The IGI Experience Live is going to be an overnight event, virtual overnight. So you can be from the comfort of your own home. Some people call it a spiritual pajama party. That's not exactly what it is. But we're going to go through a process of learning about prayer, okay?
Yep. How to pray,
how to have a night routine and a morning routine where you engage God strategically and intentionally, spending time intimately with God.
Yep. How do you have a relationship with God? Yes.
Yep. So many people don't know. A lot of people aren't intentional about their time with God. People people pray as they go to sleep. Now I lay me down, I'm asleep. I pray the Lord, I said I'm asleep.
Right.
And that's all that happens, right? So you gotta we need intentional time, right? Mm-hmm. I remember a few times years ago, I would pray for an hour. And it seemed like the longest thing ever, sort of. Like the thought of going to pray for an hour, and I was intentionally going to pray for an hour, seemed like a long time. But every time I did it.
But you weren't there just talking the whole time.
No.
So I think that's what we're going to go through in the IGI experience and God's Image experience is, how do you pray? Like a lot of people, I know I had these questions for the longest time. Like I was in church all the time, doing what I thought I should be doing, but still feeling like I don't know if I'm really connecting with God or not. Yeah. So I'm so excited about this one to really go through this process of learning, how do you connect with God? How do you have that intimate relationship with Him? Yeah. How do you pray? And it's not all about talking.
It's so important because, it's not all about talking. We have been taught that prayer is just going to God and hitting Him with a list of requests. Any parents out there, if you're a parent in the chat, let us know. Say me. If you're a parent, and if you're a parent that's ever had your kids ask you stuff nonstop, say me twice. They just, right?
Me it's twice. I'll go ahead and start.
Right. They just keep asking and asking and asking and asking. Imagine what it feels like for God to just be sitting there saying, I love you and I want a relationship with you and I want to be intimate. I want to be close. I want to abide in you and you abide in me. And I want us to be one and all of this stuff. And every time you get together, in your half-sleep moments at night or your half-sleep moments in the morning, all you do is ask for stuff. It's like, and then the only other thing you do is say, are we there yet? You're in the car like a kid, like, are we there yet, God? Are we there yet? Is this my husband? Is this my wife? Are we there yet? Is this the job? Are we there yet? Can my business grow? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? God is like, That is not a relationship. You guys are using me. You guys think I'm a genie. You think I'm a slot machine. You think you're just going to get lucky one day. There's a way to engage God. So this IGI Live experience that we're going to do, it's going to be May 22nd and 23rd. Yeah. It's going to be virtual. Tickets are available at wearegodsimage.com.
Yeah, May 22nd through the 23rd.
Through the 23rd.
Because it's
an overnighter. It's an overnighter. Adult overnighter. But it's kids can come too, I'm guessing. I'm sure they can. Because they can come learn how to pray. Why don't they learn how to pray? They need to learn how to pray too.
Groups can come, you know.
Groups, yeah. Get your people together. And we're going to learn. Imagine people do this with couples, right? Couples get together and they sit in their pajamas and they have these intimate talks and they talk about life and intimacy and all that stuff. And that's cool. Imagine learning how to have intimate time with God. Imagine learning how to cuddle close to God at night. Imagine learning how to rest in his arms. Imagine learning how you can get rest even when you don't get a lot of sleep. A lot of us are tired because we're like, I didn't sleep well. And the word, God said, I give my beloved rest. That's what we want. And I learned that this year again. Anthony taught us about rest. He was like, I'd be like, how are you up at 3 a.m? How do you have so much energy this early? And we have meetings, and when he's on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast. It's like 7 a.m. for me. I'm tired. It's 4 a.m. for him. He wide awake. I'm like, how? He's like, I got plenty of rest. Like, did you sleep well? He'd be like, they don't even talk about sleep. Like, I don't know if I slept, but I got lots of rest. I'm like, it's amazing. That's what we're going to learn in that experience. Yes. Reach out to us if you guys want some more information about that too. You can just message us too. Yeah. Again, follow In God's Image.
Somebody put in the chat, We Are God's Image.
We Are God's Image. Y'all check that out. I see some me's in the comments. Yeah. I got a lot of me's. A lot of people got a lot of Diane, Nishka, Judy, Amanda, Brienne. Yes.
Hey,
Diane.
Maria.
Hey, Maria. Yes, so many people have had their kids asking and asking and asking.
Yes.
God wants more.
More.
And in a relationship. What would it be like if every day all I did was, babe, can you make something to eat? Babe, can you get my shoes? Babe, can you?
I'd be hiding from you.
You'd be hiding. Yeah, it'd be exhausting, right? So we have to talk about it, about how we can create. Thank you, Amanda. Shout out to Amanda Jean Dukes out here. Appreciate you.
So, next question you should be asking yourself, and this is good because we were just talking about...
And this is no particular order. I like to say that because some people get really like, okay, number 1, number 2, number 3. There may be times where we give you something with a strategic order.
I think that spiritual one is definitely number 1.
Oh, okay, definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right, what's another one?
How do we speak to each other? So when you get into a relationship, how are you planning? Like, what do you want? How do you see that as going? How do you speak to each other? And we were just talking about life and death being in the power of the tongue. And one of the things I see in relationships is, and I see how it's easy to get there. Like, you're with this person all the time. It's the person you're closest to. But it's the person you end up talking the most recklessly to.
That's true.
And that is not good for your relationship because you're intentionally tearing somebody down
that you're trying to build with.
Like, you can't build and tear down at the same time. It just doesn't work. Just does not work. Lord. Yeah. So
yes. That's amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing that. Your words create, and they can create destruction. And some people are, and here's what happens. The people who tear people down are often the most insecure. They're trying to bring them down to their size. They're looking at them saying, I know how great you are. I know how beautiful you are. I know how wonderful you are. In their mind, they know how great, I know how capable you are. I know you're capable of having, in their mind, they're thinking, I believe you're capable of having someone better than me. So I need to tear you down so that you never believe you can have more than me. That is not love. That is not God. That is not right. So many people do that. And it's sad. And it'd be the person who you think would have the most confidence sometimes. It's like they got nice clothes. They got all this outward stuff. And all of that outward stuff is to cover up a lot of inward brokenness and weakness. That's why getting yourself together is so important. To the person who's out there wanting to create something great, it starts by creating something great in you. You have to become the perfect mate. You have to become someone that's worthy of the gift that God has for you. And so many people are missing it because you're not ready. God is like, you're not ready. No. Can't give you what I got for you.
Right. I'm not gonna let you have somebody so you can tear them down.
Right.
So get those words together when you're thinking about creating the love you want. put that on your list. How do I want my relationship to look when we're speaking to each other?
Right.
And Jordan said, "Talk to me nice."
His ex used to always be like, "Talk to me nice."
Talk to me nice.
That's right. Be sweet.
Yeah, it's so simple, but you know, like sometimes it's so hard for people to do because it's like the person is getting on your nerves and you just want to unleash. Nope, you have to have that self-control. I'm not talking about you, babe. I never want to unleash on you.
Never want to unleash.
Right.
Hit me with a 2-piece.
Go for a little run, you know.
Right. Why you out there running all the time? Why you punching that heavy bag so much? Nothing. It's nothing. Like, whoa. So Jordan, he would be like, "Girl, get out of here. All right, you just got to be sweet, Jordan. You got to soften." And I've told men and women this because, you know, even women. A good friend of ours we worked with, as she was preparing for her husband. Mm-hmm. And she had waited a long time, and she had been patient with the Lord, and she was celibate and everything.
Yeah.
And but the Lord laid it on our hearts to help her, and we did, and she was willing, and you know, we really talked to her about being sweet, and she tells the story as well. I was like, put a little honey in your voice, put a little sweetness on it, you know. And a lot of times, let's talk about this real quick. There's a lot of controversy now around women, and I understand. I don't know if I understand it. A lot of women are offended when men tell them to smile.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Because I don't think it's just women that should smile. I think we all should be smiling more and more joyful. I think man to man, when I look at a man in his eyes in the store and I smile and nod like, "Hey, my brother. Hey, my friend. Hey, my fellow Walmart shopper." You know what I mean? I'm just saying, what's up? Like, can we greet each other with a little more joy? We got enough going on. And now we masked up. So you don't know if people are smiling or not. So you got to like smile with your eyes without looking weird. But what do you think about that? I mean, I think that's tricky. Smiling, just showing sweetness and fruit. They'll know you by your fruit, but you look upset all the time.
I think you should be smiling. I think the controversy is, you know, like, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole.
I want to go down the whole rabbit hole.
You know I will. No.
Right.
I think, you know, like the whole controversy is, you know, like men, nobody's asking men to smile.
Okay.
Nobody's walking up to a man and be like,
smile, brother.
Smile, brother.
My man, come on. At the gym, smile, brother.
Right.
You're pushing this weight all angry. Right?
Yeah, so just don't, you know, walk up to somebody at the grocery store.
Right.
To a lady and be like, "Smile, sweetheart."
Yeah. So here's what I think, though. Here's what I think on that. Because here's what happens.
Throw her a smile, you know?
That's fair. Now, here's what I think happens, though. We are so thrown to and fro, right? To the left and the right, right? It says don't go too far to the left or the right. Because men aren't asked to do so, women then get offended that men ask them to do so. The reality is, it's not wrong for one side to ask the other. Women then start asking men to smile then. Like, if we want to balance it out, let's share in the love. Let's share in the joy. Let's tell our young girls and boys to smile. Right? We teach our kids, be gracious, smile at people, greet people, be kind to people. Like, that is a fruit. Show your fruit, show your joy. They should know that you're made in the image and likeness of God, that you have joy, peace, love, patience, kindness, that you have these things. How will you know if my face is saying I'm miserable, but I'm walking around and you be like, "How you doing?" They be like, "Blessed and highly favored." Like, you look stressed and highly upset.
Yeah.
Like,
because you are allowed to be at the grocery store.
You're trying to argue with me. I feel this.
Beeping your stuff.
You are. And not cheesing.
And not cheesing. You
That's
don't have
fair.
to smile. Nobody smiles all the time.
Yes.
And I think that's where it comes from. Like, you there minding your own business.
Yes.
And somebody just walk up to you like, "Smile. Like, I want you to smile right now."
Right now, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
Smile. Sis.
Right.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I agree. And Brienne?
Like, I smile all the time. My cheeks hurt. I'm at the grocery store trying to get my stuff in my cart.
Stressed
it's
out.
Cold outside.
Because it's too expensive.
Raining. Sir, I don't have to smile at you.
Right.
Okay. That's just how I feel.
Now,
I
respect it. I think that's a fair perspective, and Brienne brings up a great point. It just feels condescending and like an attack. Now, here's what I need you guys to realize.
Right.
However, what men are saying is, it is not as easy as you think to walk up to you. I remember the movie Hitch, one of my favorite movies with Will Smith. He said, women think it's easy for a man to walk up to him and create a relationship out of thin air. Women want to be approached, but they don't look approachable. Same thing can be true of men. If a man wants to be approached and he doesn't look approachable, same thing for getting a job. You want to get a job, but you walk into the job angry. When I used to interview people, I interviewed thousands of people, literally. And I would watch them from the camera from the parking lot. I'd watch their demeanor as they got out of the car. I'd watch them as they walked into the building. I'd pay attention to the little things because these same people were going to be people who are going to be responsible for working in the business and making things work or not. So I'd want to see how are you when you're not sitting in the interview, because anybody can smile on the first date. Anybody can smile when they get to cuddle up against you and they're going for something. Like, we all got to think about that. Men and women, I think we need to show the joy of the Lord, period. Not even just to get something, to give something, because I want to let my light shine. I want people to know. I want people to look at me and be like, where all this joy come from? So I can point them back to the place where my joy comes from, because I want them to have it too. But I understand, ladies, that random angry man gets to walk up to you and tell you, Jordan said I'm walking on eggshells. Well, I gotta walk on them. Somebody gotta say this, because here's what I fear too: women are being told like that's offensive, so then they say it's offensive, so they create that reality in their mind and in their life. And some really caring, kind, maybe the one for you guy walks up to you and says, "Smile, sis," and what he's thinking is, I feel connected to you. You might be the one. Show me that you feel me. Show me that you know. And you're like, no, I can't believe you asked that. And then you're like, I don't know why guys never approach me. They do. They may not do it right. And all I'm saying is every guy does not have perfect game. And you should appreciate that they don't have game, because if they don't have game, hopefully they won't be playing games. That's just my thought. So I just want people to think about it. And I don't think every men, stop walking up to every random woman talking about smile. If you want to tell her she's beautiful, if you want to tell her, if you want to offer her some assistance in carrying her groceries or something, do something for her. Don't require her to do something for you. All right?
Or tell a joke. Make her smile.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Tell a joke.
Don't just be like, smile.
Did you hear the joke about the monkey and the two dogs? No, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. All right. Did you hear the one about? Don't do that. Make sure it's something good. Well, was two guys sitting there. Oh, so do something for them. But then, ladies, also don't be afraid. If in your mind you've been told by other people that it's offensive that they asked, you'll be thinking, I'm offended. I can't believe he's doing this. And you may totally miss some wonderful guy who just is a little insecure and doesn't know how to say, you're beautiful. And I feel connected, and I'd love for us to explore whether you are the one. All right. So shout out to my man Tyler Thatcher. He says, a wise man I know says all the time, smile, child. God loves you and I love you. And ain't nothing you can do about it. I love it. So even as a man, he's being told, smile, child. God loves you. Smile, child. That's what we need to get some t-shirts. Smile, child. Yes. All right. Jordan's game is on point regardless. He said he's ready to roll at all times.
I believe that about Jordan. Jordan is always smiling.
Jordan's always smiling. Jordan is like super tall. What do you say? He's 6'9"? Jordan is super tall, so you'd see him coming.
Right.
He's smiling.
You gotta be smiling when you're 6'9".
Right. You got to be smiling when you're 6'9". To be like, he's like, I'm friendly. I promise. I'm not here to hurt you. I come in peace. He's so tall though. Shout out to Jordan. All right. So we got a few more. We got about 8 more minutes.
Okay.
Any other questions out there? Make sure you give us your questions. And again, if we can't get to it today, we love to bring it back in our next episode. And we want to again remind you guys that we are going to have a group for singles and couples together. And we're going to be talking about these topics that we're talking about now. And we're going to do training, Zoom training. We're going to come together and monthly dig in deeper, answer more questions. We're going to create a group where we can engage more for people who want to go deeper, for people who are single, dating, married, and they're like, I want more support. Somebody out there is like, who are your mentors? Who's helping you? Who's coaching you through this? Who's on the sidelines when you two? I always say, I think most couples would be more successful if they had a referee. Mm-hmm. It's like you're fighting with nobody to say, wait. That wasn't nice of you to say that. You shouldn't have told her that. That was rude. And for somebody to say to the lady, and then when you went back in about his mama, that wasn't right either. You can't do that.
That leads to our next question.
Perfect.
Like, creating, like, okay, so when you're in a relationship and you're creating your love, think about how you want to handle conflict. Mm-hmm. And like you said, like there will be conflict.
Yes.
I'm not talking about like yelling at each other or whatever, but there's going to be times maybe that you don't agree. That's normal.
Yes. Conflict is different than confrontation.
Yes.
Yes. You may have conflict as in you may not see eye to eye on everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Conflicting ideas.
Yeah. Thoughts, views.
Decisions.
Doesn't mean it has to become a confrontation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, thinking about how do you handle that? Do you go off? You know, do you use your words to tear somebody down? Do you hit below the belt? You know, like say somebody say something to you, say your spouse says something to you that you didn't like.
Right.
Are you going to come back and cut them down at the knees, come back even harder?
I can think of some people. I can think of some jokes too.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you going to hurt them just because they hurt you? So those are the kind of things you got to think about. You shouldn't, you know, ever hit below the belt. You shouldn't be kind of trying to come for somebody's head, you know, just because they came for yours. Because maybe it wasn't intentional.
That happens
Maybe
too.
they said something that they didn't know was going to hurt you. And then you say something back that you know was going to get them, that you know was going to cut deep. That's not right.
Anybody ever unintentionally, let me know in the chat, hurt someone? Like you literally didn't mean to say, you didn't mean to hurt them as bad as you did.
Right.
Let me know. If it was you, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat.
I did
if you were ever that person. Just type a 1 in the chat. If you've ever unintentionally hurt somebody more than you meant to. Like, you didn't mean to. Mm-hmm. And I've done it. Yeah. I did it multiple times. And I would be hurt that I hurt you.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
because you joke a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So you'll say something. Most times it's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious most of the time. Every now and then, though. Wrong button. Oops. Ashley is the funniest person, man. She act like, man, I'll knock you out. Say something else. I love it. Oh, she's hilarious. So there's a lot of ones here, right? A lot of ones, right? I think, and Maria said, I think we've all done it. Right. And we're really sorry. But here's the question, though. When you say something that hurts somebody, do you defend? Are you spending more time talking about how you didn't mean to do it rather than showing them love, care, and concern for the fact that you hurt them?
Right.
Right? It's like, and I understand because I am the first to be like, I didn't mean to do it. I want them to know truly. But I always talk about the difference between intentions and impact. Mm-hmm. Right? People have good intentions, but the impact wasn't good. You have to own the impact. I can't just say, people love to say, I didn't mean to do it. And then they start going into how the other person is soft for being offended.
Right.
Right? You always offended. Everything upsets you. Oh my God, I can't say nothing to you. Oh my God, you need to go back to your mom. You need to go back to your dad. You're so weak. I mean, because that's what we see on TV, right? That's what we hear in songs. So we think that's normal. That's not normal.
Right.
You hurt somebody, you apologize.
Yeah, you got to be willing to apologize.
And make it right.
Yeah.
And they could still be hurt.
Yeah.
Sometimes they need some time, right?
Yeah, they do.
I think it's fair. Sometimes people are like, I accept your apology, but I still need to process the pain, right? That doesn't mean I need to go and think about how I'm going to hurt you too. That doesn't mean I need to go and think about this 3-hour conversation we're going to have where I'm going to bring up everything you ever did wrong. That's not it. It's just I need some time to go be still. I need to go recharge. I need to go get some healing from my healer. And I got to go back to my creator to get recharged and refilled and built back up so that I can come deal with you. Because I ain't going to deal with you too well if I ain't hope. No. But we need that, right? We need that time.
Yeah, you do. I'm that kind of person. I need some. I like being by myself anyway, thinking through things. And I'm usually very forgiving.
Yeah.
I don't like to hold grudges. It's just not healthy.
It's not good for anybody.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I do just need time to like go breathe, and because sometimes people will say something to you and they'll be like, "Well, I apologize," and like want you to like bounce back. All right, well,
yeah.
Let's go kiss, like stuff don't happen like that. Like give people time to.
She said it like they was middle school behind the slide. Let's just go kiss. Let's just go kiss and make it better. Right, but you're right. You're right. A lot of times, yeah, people may need some time to heal, but don't go and take more time than you need just to hurt people. People do that too. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go seclude myself from everybody. You're going to ask me how I'm doing. I'm going to say I'm fine. You're going to ask me what's wrong. I'm going to say nothing because I'm being passive aggressive. Remember, you reap what you sow, ladies and gentlemen. So you think you're paying them back for what they did to you, but guess what? Now it's going to happen to you again. Then you're going to do it again. Then they're going to do it to you again. And you create this cycle of death and destruction, and you wonder why your relationship is falling apart because you always got to get that last hit. We like kids on playing tag. Right. I got to get the last hit. Even if my last hit is this passive aggressive, what's wrong? Nothing. That is so passive aggressive. If something's wrong and you're not ready to talk about it, say that with kindness. Say, I need a little more time. I'm just not ready to talk about it right now, but I love you. I'm cool. Give me a little more time, please. Like, be gracious. Treat people the way you want to be treated, not the way they treated you.
Yeah, exactly.
So important, ladies and gentlemen. So important. So important. Let's read another comment. We're about to shut this down. Yeah. Tyler said, I struggle with telling the truth sometimes because I'm a truthful person and sometimes believe staying silent and brushing things off is better than opening my mouth because I'm afraid to hurt people. How do I write? This got out of my screen.
You can see it right there.
Can you see it?
How do I write that and get past that?
How do I make that right and get past that? Okay, that's really good.
Yes.
Some things don't need to be said. Let me say that. It is true that we sometimes need to abstain from just saying it in the moment, especially if we feel overly emotional or tensions are high or they're already hurt or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But stuffing feelings is not good. So what I'd suggest is they say think before you speak. I'd say pray before you speak. Spend some time with God. Take it to God and present this thing to God. And it's come to this IGI Live experience we're going to be doing on May 22nd and 23rd. Tyler, I'd love for you to come. I can send you some more information. We're going to learn about an evening and morning routine of how we engage God at night in the first watch of the night. You hear a lot about watches of the night in the Bible, but we don't think about them as being anything. You saw the Messiah, Jesus, would always be, Yeshua would always be like doing these things at night, and the disciples would be falling asleep. There's something going on at night that we need to learn about as far as connecting to God and really getting the full power of what God has for us. So I'd say spend some time, and not just at night, but take it to God. Like, I know I need to say this because it's going to bother me later. It might come up later. It might cause erosion. Mm-hmm. And we're going to shut this down in a second. I know you got a long day. We said we was going to shut this down.
Yeah.
Erosion is the process of the sand being pulled away from the beach, right? Mm-hmm. And I always think about this. There's deposits and erosion. There's rocks being broken down, eroding, and the rocks are being pushed on the beach. And when the waves pull, they pull some of the sand away from the beach, right? So there's this constant give and take going on with the beach, right? Mm-hmm. What happens is the erosion starts to happen and we start to feel less close, less solid with the person because inside we're decaying because we're not properly dealing with the pain. We're not properly dealing with our hurt. We're not properly dealing with our anger. We're not dealing with it. We're just letting it go, but it's eroding. Erosion is a slow process. You don't see that rock breaking down, becoming sand. You don't see that beach being slowly swept away into the ocean. It's a slow process, but it's happening. Don't let your feelings, your unsaid, unprocessed emotions cause erosion in your relationship. But that doesn't mean that the person is ready to be able to heal you. So many people look for healing from the person that hurt them.
Yeah.
They're often incapable of giving you what you need.
Yeah. And one thing that we talk a lot about in God's image is, first of all, forgiveness being for you, But forgiveness, I love the definition they give of forgiveness. It's like the intentional, it's like your intention to purposely release somebody from a debt.
Yes.
So you forgive somebody else of their debt, and then somebody else forgive you of your debt. It might not be the same person, but that's just how it goes. And we talk about, the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Like, you're supposed to be forgiving people. That doesn't mean they need to be in your life, or you need to keep rocking with them at the same level that you were before.
Yeah, if they keep attacking
you have to make that choice to let people out of their debts, against you.
Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Mm-hmm. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespassing means you stepped on my toes. You came into my territory. I didn't want you in here. How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. I believe Defred Cox once said.
Right.
So you got to be careful. So if they trespass on your space, your time, your life, your love, your something, they trespass. They came into a space they weren't supposed to be in. You have to forgive those who trespassed against you, right? And as God forgives you of trespasses. So, and debts. So think about it. Be forgiving. Forgive the others. Be quick to forgive. But that doesn't mean you have to stay with people who you have to keep forgiving. If you got to forgive them 7 times 70 every day, over and over and over, that may not be somebody who you want to spend as much time with, or certainly not bond to for the rest of your life. So think about that.
And it's for you.
Yeah. It's for you.
Forgiving people of their debts.
Oh, that's good.
So you can be forgiven of your debts as well.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, That was another episode of The Love Within with Lucas and Corine. Today we talked about creating the love you want. We hope you guys got something great out of this episode. Thank you to our replay viewers. Thank you to our live viewers. Thank you to everybody who supports the show and supports all the things that we do. Make sure you follow and subscribe In God's Image so you get notifications. Turn that notification bell on. We do other shows with In God's Image. There's other shows on In God's Image, and there's other great content that you want to be a part of. And check us out at wearegodsimage.com to join the conversation, where we come together every Saturday and Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific time for a great call, a Zoom call, great discussion on what it means to be in God's image. You guys have been great. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Dr. Anthony Roveman, Jay, Best West, Jordan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chris. Unique put the takeaways up there. Let me see if I can. I'm about to see if I can throw it up there. That was shocked me last week when I looked. Boom! I love it. Check out those takeaways. Unique is taking notes. We really appreciate it. He says, smile, y'all. Everybody. Even though I hurt, see, I smile. Everybody smile more. I love it. Come learn who you are in God's image. I love it. You guys check that out. Take a screenshot of that right now. All right, good. We're going to lead in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure being with you guys again today. Have a wonderful day. Create the love that you want, and you'll have the love that you want. Everybody, have a great day.
Bye.